Today I want to talk about, at the request of someone, someone asked, can you do a little tutorial on the Obsidian plugin, Custom Sort? It's been out for about a year. I've been using it for 3 months, I think. What is Custom Sort? So Custom Sort gives you more control over the display of items in the core Obsidian File Explorer. So by default, you can, order your notes by title, by the modified time, by creative time, going up, going down. That's it. For a lot of people, that's going to be enough. But, watch YouTube videos from people going through their vault, or you look at the Reddit or the Obsidian forum, you'll notice a lot of time people will have 01, 02, 03 at the beginning of either files like notes or their folders, so that they're ordered in a specific way. Or sometimes it might be like an underscore so that it always floats to the top. Is it needed for a lot of people? It's probably not needed. I think most people are probably okay just like prefacing their titles, their notes, directories and stuff with characters or numbers or whatever, so that they go wherever they want to go. But if you don't want to do that, if you want something that looks a little bit slicker, a little bit nicer, you can do that with this plugin. This plugin, again, by SebastianMC. There's going to be a link, obviously, to the GitHub down there. There's going to be 2 links to the GitHub, because there's the main GitHub page, and also there's a link to an advanced README that goes really, really in-depth into some of the more complicated ways you can do the sorting. Freely arrange notes and folders in File Explorer. So, treat folders and files equally or distinctively. So, even within a single directory, you can have folders and you can have notes operating under different sorting rules. You can fully manually order something, which is what I do for like my main vault currently, and I'll show that. You can order notes by their explicit names, or you can do it by prefix, or you can order them by suffix, which the example they give for that is probably very useful. You can do it by metadata. There's so much Roman numeral support. If you're one of those guys, whatever that means, if you're a Roman numeral guy or gal, you're supported here. I have a brand new vault here, clean vault. The only plugin installed is Custom Sort. So as you can see, if you look up here, we are going to have, it's kind of a mess. So we've got a few folders, and we got a couple notes. Not too many notes, just a few notes. We got a folder titled A Frontmatter Sort 05, which is at the top. That's the first one there. We've got a folder titled EE Basic 02, which is the second folder listed. We've got My Book 04, which is the third folder listed. We've got P.A.R.A 03, which is the fourth folder listed. And we got YY Basic 01, which is the last folder listed. Then we've got a note titled Advanced Variables, a note titled Sort Spec, and then the note that's up now, what is Custom Sort, huh? So that's the default. That's just how it's going to normally, Obsidian's going to do it by default. It's going to be folders at the top, notes at the bottom, and organized by, whatever you chose here, which is file name. Over here, we've got a little toggle, which turns the custom sorting on and off. How do you tell this plugin what you want to, how you want to organize your stuff by? That's this sort spec. So I've got one file here that's called sortspec.md. Can't see the MD obviously, but it's there. It has to be an MD file. And in there you've got Frontmatter. So this is the sort spec that's in the main vault file here, the main root directory of the vault. It might look a little gobbledygooky. It might look a little nonsensical. Or you might look at these and go, oh yeah, I've seen this in other contexts because I do nerdy stuff, so I can kind of figure out what's going on here. Maybe not. Either way, it's okay. We're going to get through this. The sorting spec Frontmatter key that you're going to use will have target folder subkeys that will have variables and parameters and all that good stuff in there. So to explain some of this stuff, there's a few different custom variables that you can use when you're filling out the sort spec files. So to explain to explain this, let's look at some of the variables that they have here. And these are what you are going to utilize to give it some level of automation for when you're adding new files and stuff. We've got two things that basically function as wildcards. We got the 3 dots, and then we've got the %sign. The 3 dots are interpreted as any amount of random, or not random, but arbitrary characters, right? Anything at all. It's a wildcard used to represent any amount of characters in a folder or file title. The %sign is used as a wildcard to indicate any number of files or folders. So that has nothing to do with their titles or anything, or how they're named. That's just basically like a grouping together of anything that's not defined by other rules is going to go where this character is in the sorting sort spec. So the example they have here, target folder, the dot basically means it's going to apply to whatever folder the sort spec file is in. Otherwise, it could be the slash, which means the root of your vault, that very base directory, or it could be the name of a specific folder or subfolder. Then we've got focus, ... inbox, %sign, archive, sort spec. So that will make it look like this. Focus note XYZ will be the very top because focus ... that matches that. If you had a second focus note there that said focus note 123, it would also be there. Presumably the focus note 123 would be above the focus note XYZ, but you could even change that if you wanted to. So anything that starts with focus is going to be at the very top of that folder, regardless of what follows that word. It could be focus, focus, focus with no spaces. It'll get lumped in there too because it matches that. Then we've got inbox, which you can see is just inbox there. That is a explicitly named thing. There's no wildcard characters or anything, so as long as there is something, a folder or file named inbox, that's where it's going to be, right under everything named focus. Then we've got that %sign, which in this case you can see it maps to some note and yet another note. And then we've got archive, which is another specifically named sorting. So that pops up right there. And then sort spec is underneath it because that is also specifically named. So it's not going to lump it in there. So basically, that's a good chunk of what this is capable of. So by using the various wildcards, you can, in conjunction with like other default sorting methods, like by time created or just alphabetical, however you want, you can get stuff like that. We also have /D+ and /R+. Those are a little different. They're also wildcards, but they're specifically matching numbers and different types of numbers. So D stands for digit, R stands for Roman numerals. So we got you covered if you're a big Roman numerals guy, like I said. So target folder, data/inbox. So you got a folder in your main vault called data. You got a folder in that data folder called inbox. That's what this is going to apply to. And what are we going to match it? So we're going to match it anything at all, and then part, and then any number. And we're going to sort them alphabetically. So, part 1. Interesting part, 20. Interim part, 333. Final part, 401. Note with no suffix down there at the bottom. As you can see, we've got which matches the any amount of wildcard characters, the any arbitrary amount of characters here. Anything that has the word part after it is going to match this. So it all matches there. And then it's got the number there. So if you do one that doesn't have number, it's going to be at the end. It's going to be at the end. So if it just says final part and no number, it would be after those, just with the general sorting rules. So for example, if that was like something that started with like a Z part and no number, it would be after the note with no suffix, because those aren't being floated to the top, as those are the top of the list, right? Because it's not going to match that. So that would just be below it, along with the other ones that don't match that pattern. A little confusing. Admittedly, I understand why it can be, if you're not used to kind of dealing with like regular expressions or, stuff like that, or just dealing with stuff that has the kind of plain text variables, like where it's not separated in brackets or something that clearly makes it known that it's something that's a part of the thing, I understand it might be a little weird, but it's pretty straightforward once you actually play around with it. And because you can turn the sorting on and off so quickly, and so the same works with that /R, except it goes by Roman numerals: I, V, X, I, L. So I've got all of these set up in here. So right now, custom sort is off. There's a little icon right here, toggle custom sorting. It's a bunch of arrows. The icon changes depending on the status, and then if there's something wrong with your sort files, your sort spec files, you'll get some indicator in a little pop-up bubble. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn this on, toggle custom sorting. So what's in my root vault is this, right? Target folder / that means the root directory of the vault. And then I also have another one down here, target folder, another target folder key, mybook04. I'll show you, you can specify one sort spec in your main root vault, and you can list out all the different rules you want for various folders throughout your vault, and you can use just one file, or you can toss them into the individual ones, whatever works for you. This is just going to group the files on top, folders next to it, organized by the digit at the end of the folder name, and then sort spec's just going to be at the very bottom. So let's toggle it on and see. Parsing custom sorting specification succeeded. Custom sort on. So now let's take a look up here. Take a little look. Now, we've got advanced variables at the very top. We got what is custom sort, Those are the two notes we got up there. Then we've got the folder YY basic 01, EE basic 02, P.A.R.A 03, mybook 04, a Frontmatter sort 05, and then at the bottom we've got sort spec. So does that line up with what we have here? Looks like it, right? We've got all the files right here, organized by their modified date. We've got all of the folders that match the pattern. Then we got sort spec down there. That's largely how it works. Let me show you one of the examples that they go through is P.A.R.A. So P.A.R.A, projects, areas, responsibilities, archive. You can go look that up if you're not familiar with it. Basically, it's like an organizational type of system that some people like to use either on its own or integrated into another sort of system as like a subsystem of sorts. So in the P.A.R.A 03 folder, we've got its own sort spec, which has pro ... a ... s, res ... es ... iv, which of course, given those are wildcards for characters, that would match projects, that would match areas and responsibilities and archive specifically. If we do, so like right there, a lot of times people will have to, preface those directory names with numbers or something, because P.A.R.A doesn't automatically sort out that way by default in most programs. And then as you can see here, if you just look at the actual folder thing down here on the side, responsibilities is a note, but it matches up fine. It gets filtered accordingly perfectly. Let's do a new note. All right, we've got some new stuff added to the P.A.R.A folder. I've added an assets note, and I've added a research note. Where do those just inherently kind of fall in line? Because there's a lot of wildcard going on here. So assets goes right up by areas, because A wildcards S matches areas and assets together. So assets gets floated right by areas. And then research stays at the bottom because it doesn't match anything up here, even though it almost matches the one that sorts our responsibilities folder or note, because that has the ES at the end. It doesn't match research, but if we take off the ES at the end and we resort, it's going to float the research and responsibilities together. Then to sort stuff by suffix, you just do stuff that we've already been using. So let's look at the sort spec in the main root vault down here. This guy in the main folder, which is where the rules for the MyBook04 folder are. They're in that main one, along with the rules for the main vault. The rules for the MyBook folder are anything specifically named preface, going to be at the very top. Anything that starts with EPI and has more characters going is going to be at the bottom. In between those, anything that starts with chapter and then has a Roman numeral and then has more stuff is going to be in between there. So as you can see, when we look at the folder where I'm keeping my book project, now this is a secret project. You guys can't steal my ideas. I know you've only got the chapter numbers or chapter titles, but this is going to be a big hit that I'm working on. So don't take this from me. So we got chapter 1, bananas, and that's at the top. We got chapter 2, Lucky Charms. Chapter 5, we got Toucan Sam. And then we got chapter 13, Cell Shaded Glory. And then chapter L, Bazooka Joe. I don't know if I'm going to be able to write L amount of chapters. I don't know how many chapters I'm going to have to write to get to chapter L. It might be 50. I feel like it's probably, I don't know, 50? Is L 50? What's L? There's L, there's an M. I just know the I's, the V's, and the X's. Because I'm just a working class schmo. That's all I know. You can see, even though the L, X, V, I, those aren't sorted how they normally would be alphabetically. Even ignoring those and going to the chapter titles, those have no effect on the sorting. It's only by the Roman numeral value of those characters, which is super cool, and I don't think there's any other way to really do it as easily. I mean, just take this little 4-line sort spec, and you can toss that into any book project, or maybe just like if you write long articles and you like to do separate sections and different notes. All right, so that is ordering stuff by Roman numerals. The last one I'll cover is a Frontmatter sort. We can see that there is a sort spec file there. So let's open that up, and in there we've got target folder. This can actually, I put the name here, but this can actually just be a little dot, and that's just going to mean whatever folder we're in that's not the root folder. Organize it by metadata, and then the metadata is going to be input order. So every file in here that has a metadata key titled input order will be sorted by that. We've got we got a note titled A with an input order of 10. B, input order of 9. We also have down 1, down 2, left 1, left 2, right 1, right 2, sort spec again, up 1, up 2. So input order 1, input order 7. So let's turn on custom sorting. So this should order them by whatever their input order value is. And let's see if it does that. Turn it on. It's going to look at the sort spec file inside that folder. And it looks like it has rearranged them because B and A are now at the bottom, because they have a higher input order. So up 1 has an import order value of 1, up 2 import order value of 2, down 2, and then down 1, but down 2 has an input order of 3, and down 1 of 4, so that makes sense. Left, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that makes complete sense. Let's switch that little arrow to the opposite direction. Let's turn custom sorting back on. And hey, look, A and B are at the top now because those have the higher ones, which now matches that sorting value in the file. So 8, 7, 6, now it's counting down. So you can see how dynamic this is, how granular you can get. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I haven't tested it with a gigantic vault yet. As I'll show you in a moment, my current vault that I use I just explicitly lay out the order of the main vault, the main files and folders in that root directory. I don't do any advanced sorting into the other folders yet because I'm just trying to work out like what's the best way to do that for the different sections of my vault. And some of my my creative stuff is just in a shambles. I can never figure out how to really organize that stuff, consistently and in a way that actually helps me. So that stuff's always in flux. But I'll show you how my setup is currently. And then just real quick, this is my main vault currently with my sort spec file here. Like I said before, I don't really do too much crazy stuff with the variables and all that. I basically just explicitly list out the stuff that I want in the order I want, and then I use the ampersand, and then I list the sort spec file, the typing OTL, and some stuff here. It's all just the explicit order I want. So some notes, inbox, calendar, journal, research, creative, reference stuff, and then Obsidian, attachments, templates, archive, all meta type stuff. Stuff that the vault needs to have, but doesn't necessarily need to be anywhere that I need to know where it's at, or it needs to be up front and center anywhere. And again, go to the GitHub page, even if you just install it through the the community plugins menu, and make sure that you click on the advanced. There's a big old link right at the top, and I'll have a link to it down there. The advanced README that has so many examples that you can really just copy, paste, and tweak to what you need. And then once you get a hang of it, I'm sure you'll be able to customize it to whatever you want. Practical or silly, you can do it. All right. See ya.